But there's so much noise drowning out the news. Talking heads, broadcast messages, press releases. They're telling you their side, but you just want the facts. And that's why you come to me. I give you the statistics without spin. Out of 116 million working age Nigerians, 35.5 million are employed full-time. That's 30%. I give you the context. I give you the history. I fight fake news with facts.
Kayode. No, Kayode, I will let you talk. Kayode, I will let you talk if you let me talk. Kayode.
That's why more and more Lagosians are tuning in.
500,000 Lagosians.
720,000.
970,000.
1 million Lagosians. They know that if you give afternoon, I will give you hard facts.
Well done, Sandra, all to going beyond the headlines and focusing on the facts.
I am Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts.
Hello, Lagos. Good afternoon. I am Sandra Ezekwesili, and these are your hard facts. First hard fact of the day: INEC has extended PVC collection by 1 extra week. So, yay! It now runs until January 29th. INEC has responded to all of that pressure. You know, I always say that the office of the citizen is the most powerful office. Now it's over to you. Remember, if you don't have a PVC, you cannot vote. And if you don't vote, you just voted for whoever wins. Because not voting is a vote. Even if you believe that all the choices are bad, it's up to you to choose the least of all evils, because the worst candidate will do the most damage. The least worst candidate will do the least damage. So to avoid the worst damage, vote. You have to remember that the next president is inheriting 77 trillion naira in debt, and the way that that person handles that will decide a lot of things in your life: the economy that you work in, the price of the food in your pot, security. So I beg, vote for the best or vote to avoid the worst. Either way, shall vote. But you cannot do it without your PVC, so try and get it. It's difficult in some places, complicated in other places. Just do your best to get that card. Second hard fact of the day: Senate President Ahmed Lawan says the Red Chamber is going to review every federal government concession and every revenue waiver. A waiver is when the government gives a company a discount on taxes or duties because it's doing something else that the company is doing. There's something else that the company is doing that is good for the economy or is good for the government, right? So that's what a waiver is. A concession is when the government hands over a revenue generating asset to a private company to run, like Lekki Tollgate. Now, Lawan says that money is very tight, so the Senate wants to make sure that all these discounts and all these concessions are worth it. They want to be sure that the government is getting its money's worth. Otherwise, they're saying that the government will have to reclaim its resources. You know how people start becoming very careful with money when month wants to end? That's what's happening here. Federal government really doesn't have that much free revenue left. Everything is going into debt servicing, and now suddenly they are vexing and they are, looking at why have we been eating 4 days a week? How do we send that babe 50k? Tutu meat for papa. They read everywhere, so they're looking for how to recoup some of that money. It's good. It's a good thing. It's good to know that our leaders do know what responsible spending looks like. So that's happening. Third hard fact of the day: congratulations to Abie and Sotonye for doing so well with their exams. They passed their exams brilliantly. Those are my sons. They did so good. I'm so proud of both of you. Well done. Congratulations again. You are such brilliant kids. I'm so proud of both of you. So proud. And well done. Okay, if you're tuning into the show for the first time, welcome. You're here alongside 1 million Lagosians. Thank you for listening. I've got a great show for you. And we're launching a new segment. I told you about that all week. Today, we're going to talk about Macron refusing to apologize for France colonizing Algeria. That's a conversation that will happen on Big Three Global. Every Friday, we bring you global stories on the Big Three. Then let's talk about the Church of England apologizing for its role in slavery. And then let's talk about Ghana letting Meek Mill shoot a music video at Flagstaff House. At 4 o'clock, we're bringing you the first ever episode of the Hard Facts Awards. I'm so excited, honestly. This is a new segment. We're going to do it every Friday, where you and I pick the most memorable stories of the week, and we're going to pick the most insightful caller of the week. So a caller that called and said something that is so insightful, so smart, so brilliant. We're going to do that every week as well. So two kinds of awards, right? But most memorable stories of the week, most insightful caller of the week. At 5 o'clock, we have another new segment, Eyes and Nays, where we talk about what's going on at the National Assembly. Today, we're going to talk about the recently passed Mental Health Act. The president signed it 2 weeks ago, I believe, or it was last week. I'm not sure now. But we have a new one, and so we'll look at it with some experts. It's all happening right here. Yes, I'm on air now from 3 p.m. until 6 p.m. every Friday because Rutimi Sankari has to take a break, and he'll be taking a break for a while. But you have me, and I'm pretty good, Abby. You get me until 6 o'clock, and that's why we have all of these new segments. After that, it's Music and Moments with Ifeanyi and Sam. Expect news, business, and sports at the top of the hour, every hour. But let's get started with today's Big Three Global Edition. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili, Lagos. These are your hard facts.
The Big Three Global Edition on Hard Facts.
Is Macron making things harder for France in Africa? Who should benefit from the Church of England's slavery penance fund? Do African leaders show subservience to Western citizens? Those are your Big Three. Global Edition, Lagos. Let's talk. Every Friday at 3, we let Nigeria rest a bit and we look instead at the biggest international stories of the week. And Africans are upset with Emmanuel Macron. That's our first story. The French president, he made a couple of controversial statements this week. He was talking about more and more Francophone countries in Africa turning away from French and embracing English and Arabic and native languages. And Macron says it's a bad idea. He then called French, quote, the universal language of Africa, end quote. A lot of Africans took exception to that. He also said some of these African countries are ditching French because their languages are easier. He said that with English, for example, people can, quote, speak with imperfect language, yet not be criticized, end quote. He seems to be suggesting that Africans who cannot speak French well are migrating to English because the grammar standards are lower. Macron also said that Africans are choosing their native languages over French because of politics and nationalism. He's getting cooked in Francophone Africa over these comments. They cook and where. But he didn't stop there. Macron also addressed France's colonial legacy itself. He said that he and France will not apologize for colonizing Algeria and will not ask for forgiveness. He said any apology would be insincere and insulting. He also said that it's better for France and the former colonies to agree to disagree and just accept that something unspeakable happened between them. So these are the things that Emmanuel Macron said, the president of France, which are causing a stir in French-speaking Africa. What are your thoughts? 0700-993-993-993 0703-993 993 0700, actually, not 0703. I don't know where I got that 3 from. So that's for men. Women, call us on 01465 7190. Do you have thoughts on Emmanuel Macron's situation? We've got WhatsApp as well. WhatsApp is 080-959-75805. And we have Twitter. Twitter is at Nigeria Info FM. Nigeria Info FM. That's our Twitter. And of course, you can watch live on Facebook and share your thoughts there. Facebook is Nigeria Info 99.3. YouTube, Nigeria Info FM. Hello. Thank you for calling us. Hello? 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 Oh, there's nobody there. Call back if you can. Good afternoon. Sorry about that. Give us a call back if you can. Hello, good afternoon. Oh, that's unfortunate. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sandra.
Good afternoon, sir. What's your name?
Lucky Lala. I'm coming from my village now. Agbo in Delta Street.
All right. Oh, lucky travel to Agbo. Welcome.
Yes, thank you very much, Sandra. About, attending the voters exercise, the cherry news as far as I'm concerned, for people to go and collect their PVC. But the problem I'm having is that these corrupt INEC officials, we have been shouting this, for the past few days now. How could INEC, grant these party members access to their seated rooms and also giving them the PVC to be sharing it door to door? We should be saying it now, because when it now happen on the election day, we know who to hold responsible. It is very bad, and are we sure that those cards have not been private with the report people have been giving for the past few days?
Who did you say is sharing cards door to door?
The party members now. If you listen this morning, even since last week, people have been calling that they bring their cards down to their houses.
And that's happening where? Where is that happening?
Somebody called this morning now. And they've been saying it. It's no longer news, Sandra.
I haven't heard it. I'm hearing it from you for the first time, so I'm asking for a lot of detail. So someone called on Sheriff's show to say what?
Yes.
To say what?
He said even the husband said he didn't give the husband. But surprisingly...
No. Please, one step at a time. You just made an allegation that someone called on the morning show to claim that party members are distributing cards.
One of them brought the card.
Which party?
The person don't mention the party.
Okay, so the person claimed that a party member is taking cards to people's houses.
Yes.
Here in Lagos?
Yes, in Lagos. Where? Brought the card. Madam, I can't remember all that. It was this morning. I can't be. People are
Lucky. No. I know you say you can't remember, but you called me to tell me about it, and I'm hearing it for the first time. And there are people, who are listening for the first time as well. So if you're going to tell us, you have to be as detailed as possible about what you're reporting.
But you know what is there? I believe somebody is going to call.
All right, Lucky. Until that person calls, thank you very much for calling. 99.3. Hello. Sorry about that. Give us a call back if you can. Back to what we're talking about on today's Big Three. I took you abroad, because that's what we do, by the way, on Friday. Fridays, we let Nigerian stories rest. So if you have PVC talk to tell me, I suggest you wait until after 4, right? But right now, we're doing global stories. And our first global story took us to Francophone Africa. Africans are upset with Emmanuel Macron. The French president made a couple of controversial statements this week. He was talking about African countries turning away from French, because more and more African countries, Francophone African countries, are turning away from French. They're embracing English. They're embracing Arabic. They're embracing their own native languages. And Macron says that this is a bad idea. He then called French the universal language of Africa, and many Africans took exception to that. He also said that some of these African countries are ditching French because other languages are easier. He said English, for example, people can speak with imperfect language, yet they won't be criticized, and so that's why people are pivoting away from French and moving to English. And he also said that more Africans were choosing their native languages over French because of politics and nationalism, and so lots of people in French-speaking Africa not finding it funny and he's getting seriously cooked because of that. And like I said before the break, it didn't stop there. Macron also addressed France's colonial legacy itself. He said that he and France will not apologize for colonizing Algeria, that they will not ask for forgiveness. He said any apology would be insincere, would be insulting. He also said that it's better for France and for the former colonies to agree to disagree when it comes to colonization, and that both of them should just accept that something unspeakable has happened between them. So that's what's happening in France. Let's talk about that. 0700-993-993. I've got Azu Frank on the line. Hi, Frank. Good to have you on the show.
Hello, Sandra.
Welcome.
This is my best section of your 3 top stories. When you stay away from the Nigerian headache and PVC and the Nigerian Wahala is just too much. So, back to the topic. Macron have been, I don't know, he have been having the area of the mouth. He have been talking anyhow. He came to Indonesia and he said that African women are not civilized, that they used to have 6, 7, 8 children. Like, that is why we are not civilized. And while we're still trying to deal with that, he now dropped the one that, at the end of the day, he said what we had was unspeakable, something misunderstood, something, as in something like that can be forgivable and the whole stuff. The thing is this. Why did I first mention Indonesia on East? Indonesia was colonized by Holland. Are you with me, Sandra? Hello?
I can hear you, yes.
Indonesia was colonized by Holland.
Right.
But the Dutch government dare not say anything discriminatory about Indonesia like that. What does that mean? Indonesia, though they were colonized, in fact, their own colonization was even terrible because during the World War, they conquered Indonesia over Indonesia from Holland. They had adopted child and the whole issue. But these guys picked up from where they dropped them, and today they just hosted the last G20. Trump, what's his name? Macron came here and was talking nonsense about other countries, African countries, but he dare not say it. And guess what, Sandra? We all got our independence the same time. The thing is, we never wake up. These guys will take advantage of us, insult us, abuse us. It's just our fault. We have refused to do the right thing. Can I please jump to your last topic?
Yes,
I
please.
think they're all related.
They are related, yes.
Which is, do African leaders show
subservience to Western citizens?
Same thing. Yeah, subservience to. It's the same thing. Okay, look at the other day. All of them packed themselves, 54 of them, old papa them. They went to go and do meeting with Biden. 54 of them, all of them. The other day, Japan, we call all of them, we go. Ukraine, just imagine all. And it's not like they will send one person to go and represent us. And it's not like when they even get it, they will have something else, something to say. We do these things, our leaders embarrass us. Then what do you expect? How, are you blaming Macron? So these things are in pure black and white. We know where the issues are. Africa needs to wake up. Africa needs to, position herself in the right place. See, that's how they say it in my place. Now, how you put your head, they go knock out. It's as simple as that.
Azu, thank you for calling. Always a pleasure to hear from you. We've got Ayo from Songo on WhatsApp who says, well, now I understand why Macron, the chop slap left, right, and center. Now, what for you, Ayo? We've got this message here. From Greenish. Greenish says this same hijab banner Macron doesn't know anything. He's mad because France no longer has ground in Africa. Okay. How many countries are colonized by France in Africa, and what has been the reaction from the government of those countries? That's a question from someone who didn't leave his name on WhatsApp, but thank you very much for your message. We've got this message here from Prince Inaja. Prince says Macron's speech is insightful and it shows that France has no remorse for all the atrocities committed against Francophone Africans in Africa. Insightful. Do you mean insightful as in it makes sense, or inciting as in, it can incite people to anger and violence, etc., etc.? Is that what you meant? Because I'm not sure. More messages. WhatsApp. We're going to come back to them in it, because our second story is also related to our first story. In the second story, we have the Church of England apologizing for its involvement in slavery and the slave trade. The Church of England is the oldest, most senior branch of the global Anglican Church, and in the 1700s and 1800s, the church owned plantations in the Caribbean, kept enslaved Africans to work on them. When the UK abolished slavery, the government paid compensation to the slave owners, including the church, and the enslaved people or their descendants were never compensated. So that's a huge story. I'll tell you a bit more about that when we come back from this break. You're listening to Hard Facts on 99.3 Nigeria Info. This is the Big Three Global Edition. Monday to Thursday, we bring you the Big Three Nigeria Edition. Every Friday, we take a break from Nigerian stories from 3 to 4 and bring you what's happening in other parts of the world, just so that you're very, very informed, and when you're having conversations with your peers, you go be like, see, you sabi, All right, let's take that break. We'll be right back.
And I'm in. My name is Peter Rufar, aka Dodo Mayana, ex-Nigerian Super Eagles captain and goalkeeper, a certified UEFA coach. Do you dream of becoming a super talented football player? Then join me and other reputable trainers to begin your transformation journey. Are you ready?
Oh yes, you heard it right. Peter Rufai is in the building. Are you ready? Hurry now and join your preferred Young Stars developer and his crew for a complete football makeover. From wherever you are around the world, call in today and transform your dream into reality. Registration is ongoing. For more inquiry, please call 0905 221 3920. 0810-05-80744 or 0705-294-0062. Star of Football Academy, bringing talents.
It's Alexander Liverpool are majestic. You can't coach against this.
City have to defend for 6 minutes. They do not want to attack this. Ferland Mendy across into the penalty area, headed down by the Madrid players. Still Madrid hopping around City's penalty box. A chance could come for them. It's 1-1 on the night. It's 4-5 for Nabigate. Here it comes. It's 2-2. They are back.
Incredible. Well, one of the great nights as a radio football commentator, certainly. Was special. You could sense it. So I literally could sense a potential comeback, and I wasn't surprised when it happened. But how I was still able to articulate my words after that goal came in, something magical. So one of those great nights.
It's Alexander Liverpool are majestic. You can't coach against this.
I'm a sucker for trends. If he wasn't a Liverpool player, I would wear a jersey with Trent at the back. That was special. It was a free kick from about 38-40 yards against Chelsea, a team I somehow don't fancy. It was special, and I fell off the seat. It's a classic. I don't think any commentator has been able to do that.
Every day is a new experience for me here. And look, see how excited I was coming into this studio. It was like a kid in a candy shop. What I enjoy doing the most here, let me put it in my own words, is Dear Bumi, because it's relaxing, it's hilarious. And of course, I for the life of me, I would never miss doing programs with Sheriff in the morning. It's one of the best, that's what keeps me alive and going. I think the one that I would remember the most, believe you me, is the one I did with Made Kuti, Femi's son. Every time I looked at, every time I think of the young guy, I feel so inspired because I'm always thinking of tomorrow. I'm youth driven. I'm not saying I'm a youth, but I'm youth driven. Oh, the best thing about being a radio show
are the oldest, or it is the oldest and most senior branch of the global Anglican Church. And like I said before the break, in the 1700s and 1800s, the church owned plantations in the Caribbean, kept enslaved Africans to work on them. And even when the UK abolished slavery, the government paid compensation to the slave owners, including the church. The slaves themselves and their descendants, they did not receive any compensation for being enslaved. The church already apologized a few years ago. Those of you who follow global politics and global news, you probably remember when they apologized a few years ago. But now they say that they want to go further. For example, the church is setting up a fund with $100 million. They want to use the fund to research the impact of slavery and their role in it, and also to compensate communities affected by it. I'm curious about that community's part, because basically you have places where slaves were taken from, like many parts of West Africa. Here in Lagos, Badagry, like it was such a big hub. A lot of the old families in Lagos were traders of slaves, So you have many parts of West Africa, the places where slaves were taken from, and then the places where the slaves were taken to, like the Caribbean, like North America. So which communities does the church have in mind? That's what I'm curious about. And I want to know what you think about this idea of reparations for the slave trade. Reparations in general, not just from the Church of England, just in general from all of those who partook in the slave trade. Do you think that Africa is owed reparations? And when we talk about reparations, is it just the people who bought the slaves that should be making reparations? How about those who sold the slaves? Should they also be paying for selling slaves? Talk to me. Lagos 0700-993-993. Women, call us on 01465-7190. We take a break from Nigerian stories from 3 to 4 p.m. We focus on global stories, but not worry, from 4 o'clock, we'll go back to talking about Nigerian stories. 99.3, hello.
Hi, Sandra. How you doing?
I'm very well. Good to have you on the show.
Yes, my name is Shade.
Hi, Shade. Welcome.
Wait, before I start, so I know how intelligent I should sound today. The award.
No. For Insightful Caller, we'll not do Insightful Caller today. From next week, we'll start doing Insightful Caller. So that you go and get ready.
See, that's cold right there. Sandra, I feel awful that I get this reference. It's horrible.
Oh.
Okay, I'll leave my intelligence to the next week. Then.
Okay,
it's cool. I can have it for today, because he was about to win that award anyway.
Okay.
But, yes, I believe in reparations. But first, Macron. See, that French arrogant thing he has going on, which makes him have, as it called, the mouth diarrhea. Because it makes no sense. The Church of England should send, Macron, a message of how we do things. We apologize. We say, we think about what we did, the impact it had, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. That's what they should send him, that memo. This is what we want to do. Perhaps you should read it and do the same.
Because this is your arrogance. We don't understand where it's coming from.
I'm telling you.
I mean, we understand you're a powerful nation, but come on, man.
That is why the new Italian Prime Minister, I forgot her name, was tackling him about, the way France is currently handling African and Francophone countries and the payments and all that.
Yeah.
And she sit down and think about it, saying, no, we're not going to apologize, we don't care, instead in the French accent.
Right.
But yeah, you get me.
Right.
Yes, and I like what the Church of England is doing.
Yeah.
And I think more people, I believe reparation, as you said, but the nitty-gritty of it, who gets it? That's where, we have to think about. But I believe anyone that feels that they want this it helps people heal. So I definitely believe in
reparations. Okay, Shade, thank you very much for calling. Shade is definitely on the list for Insightful Caller of next week. We'll start out on next week. 99.3, hello. Hello? Is anybody there?
Sandra.
Good afternoon. What's your name, sir?
This is Isaac.
Isaac, welcome.
Sandra, today is the best moment of my life, but for calling you and you pick my call. I've been calling your show for the past 3 years.
Hey, welcome, Isaac.
Sandra, you are for last year you are my woman of the year. I swear.
Oh, thank you.
one thing you did for me, you encouraged me to go and collect my PVC, and I collected. I was so happy in Yaba Council, so I was so happy.
Okay.
So, Sandra, for the topic, for Macron used to be one of the European presidents that I used to respect.
Okay.
But him coming to say all these things, he has lost my respect. I sincerely speaking, he has lost my respect. How can you be saying this? Come on, even though you believe it, you think it. Will you come back and be saying this? People have their own choice to live their life how they please them. So you don't come back and to dictating what to be do, what not to do. So I'm so angry with him. So Sandra, thank you once again for picking my call. I'm so happy.
Isaac, thank you so much for calling. Again, I have no idea who's calling, so I just pick randomly. We don't see the numbers when we pick. In our first story, Francophone Africans were angry with the French president. In our third story, Ghanaians are angry with their own president. Meek Mill is an American rapper, and he just visited Ghana. And I know that a lot of you who listen to Nigerian folk probably don't know who Meek Mill is, but some of you do. He's an American rapper. He's not a top rapper, but he's fairly famous. Anyway, he was in Ghana, and he visited Flagstaff House. That's their own Aso Rock, their presidential palace. It's also called Jubilee House. And while he was at Jubilee House, Meek Mill shot a music video for one of his songs inside Jubilee House. That's like, say, Meek Mill going to Aso Rock and shooting a music video inside Aso Rock. You know what I'm saying? Now, lots of Ghanaians are very angry. They say that their government generally denies them access to Jubilee House. The security and protocol are so strict that people cannot even take pictures inside the complex. In fact, most times, you can't even take pictures outside it. It's very similar to the type of excessive protocol we see at Aso Rock as well. But somehow, they didn't apply those rules to Meek Mill. To many Ghanaians, this is yet another an inferiority complex. Ghanaians have been allowed to shoot a video there. Would they allow Sarkodie to do it? Would they allow Manifest? So why did they allow Meek Mill to do it? So that's what some Ghanaians are saying. Some other Ghanaians are saying, oh, come on, it's not a big deal. If cultural tourism deal, we deal out of this. We need the Forex. Whose side are you on? Who do you agree with? Harmless publicity or inferiority complex? 01465 7190. Women, call us on that number 01465 7190. Men, call us on 0700 993 993 993. Hello, thanks for calling us. Oh, sorry about that. Call back if you can. 99.3. Hello. That's unfortunate. Hi, good afternoon. What's your name, sir? Okay. Hello, good afternoon. Hello.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Sandra.
Welcome, sir.
Just like the last caller, I'm so happy reaching you today.
Oh, I'm happy you're here, sir.
I started listening to you the time of COVID. Today, I've always called, but my line don't go through.
Oh, well, welcome today. Thank you for calling today.
Okay, my name is Titus, calling from Ajegule.
Welcome, Titus.
Okay, I will sum the whole three stories you brought today on this very last story.
Okay.
You know, this is the same thing Africans keep doing that make the Westerners think we are nobody. You know, we're just like one boy that serve Oga for how many years? Then the Oga refused to serve him. Then the one boy doesn't see that my not finish. I won't do anything. Every time he blames it on the Oga, now my Oga make me be like this. But other countries, they've been colonized by some other Western countries, but they are not big, they are doing well. But Africa, we keep going there to borrow. How much Nigeria they hold? 7 million naira or so. So how do you want those people to regard us? Every time we keep running back to them. If the Western call on Nigeria and I want to see, we see everybody will pack and go there. But if you call on them, you know, they will just send 1 or 2 persons to come see us. Sometimes they don't even send at all. So Nigerians, Africa, we need to
do better.
Yeah, we need to do better.
All right, thanks for calling. Jamie says French atrocities in Algeria, especially during the War of Independence, 1954 to 1962, were exacting. One day the French will apologize for their carnage. This is obvious as Europe needs Africa this century, not the other way around. All right, Jamie, thank you for your message. Yes, that award for insightful caller, it's not just for those who call in, it's also for social media comments. So like most insightful comments on social media, we're also gonna give that person the award for the week. It's a weekly award. The award show starts at 4 o'clock, so don't go away. We have different categories. We have best story of the week, worst story of the week, citizen of the week, Nawa story of the week. Yes, we have a category called Nawa story of the week. Then we have a citizen called a category called other story of the week. I'll tell you what the different categories mean at 4 o'clock. So make sure you're still here after Ayobe is done so that you can vote for who you think should win the award. You're not winning anything. It's just a fun thing to do on a Friday. 99.3, hello.
Hey, I greet you.
I greet you too. What's your name, sir?
My name has not changed. This lived in.
Is that Kevin?
Yes.
Welcome.
Yes, Sandra. I think we should not criticize President Macron too much because before 2017 elections, I heard him say France's civilization on Algeria was crime against humanity. He said it clearly during that 2017 election.
True.
So I don't know what has changed.
They don't want to. They don't join here.
Yeah, politics are scripting. Yeah, I don't. That's why I'm a bit soft on him, because he's more African in terms of ideology. He comes to the African shrine here, the new African shrine. When he was still, I think a diplomat. Yes, he comes around, listen to African music, and get in tune with what is happening to Africa in his culture and all that. So coming up to say this now, I don't know what has changed. I don't know. I don't know. But the church that is apologizing, we need all the apologies in this world.
Okay.
I think it was 2 years ago that I visited Badagry, for a week. I wept. Yeah. There was no day I did not cry with what I saw. I wept, uncontrollably. Another thing again, that struck my mind and my thoughts was, how can few men come with a boat and, psych all the whole men then and bring one? I saw the Shinab they brought, I saw the Bible they brought, I saw everything. The original copies were not saw everything there, and they psyched all these people and took our people away. So we need all the whole apologies that needs to be, that we need. I think this was some of the things that the great MKO was talking about, in those days. That's one of the things he was talking about, that Africans need, to be compensated and all that. So it's a sad thing that we went through that. But I think Africans now, we are putting ourselves back to second slavery by going abroad to go and hold political meetings, by going abroad to go and sit and do things, by going to go and meet people for foreign loans and all that. We are going back to second slavery. And I think we need, that's why Bob said, let us emancipate ourselves from this. And I think if we do that, we are good to go. But for French President Macron, I don't know what has changed.
Kevin, thank you for calling. I don't even think that, the people who sold slaves to the slave traders when they came to our shores, that they were tricked. Because remember, we were already selling slaves even before the Portuguese came to buy their own slaves. When different communities would go to war, they would fight war, they would take slaves, they would sell it among the communities, so it was already something that we were familiar with, I think. So it wasn't like far-fetched to now start transferring that expertise, if you like, to the international stage. I wish we had more time to say on this, but we don't. Ayobe is here to bring you ideas with Ayobe. I'm Sandra Ezekwesili. Don't go away so that you'll be a part of the award show coming up at 4 o'clock. This is Nigeria Info 99.3.
for the best talk.
So your state governor is said to have ordered immediate employment of 5,000 youths. Don't we need more of these to come from different governments?
Stay with Nigeria Info.
Do you think that maybe those food items just came like that, decayed already? I mean, what is really the truth?
I try to be careful not to use the word hoarding because I do not have fact that points at that.
Your number one station for talk. 99.3. Let's talk.
Get breaking news, updates, and the best of talk.
Women have to work twice, even thrice as hard for them to get things that just come so naturally to a lot of men who feel that leadership is their right.
You were in prisons for how many years?
For 6 years, 8 months.
Were you going to court from prisons then?
Yes, but before I started court, it took me 2 years.
Just being in prison?
Yes.
Without your case even start at all?
Confinement.
You were there?
Yeah.
Here on your number one station for talk, 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.
.3 FM Nigeria Info. Time check is 3:45 p.m. a quarter to 4 p.m. and it is time for Ideas with Ayobe. My name is Ezugu Chukudi. Now it is 42 days to the presidential elections and plans are in top gear. In what has become common practice in democracy, you have people who traverse the length and breadth of the world to observe proceedings with respect to elections in other parts of the world. Now, people have complained about how some of these people are treated and whether it is desperation on the part of certain persons to shut out that country conducting the exercise in the practice of democracy from the world so that they would not tell what they see. Now, on the show today, we're basically going to be discussing, accusations against neutral election actors by state and non-state actors. And joining us on the show is a senior advocate of Nigeria, Ikeazo Akareiwe. He was one-time vice president of the Nigerian Bar Association. Good afternoon, Ayobi. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, Chukudi, and thank you for that introduction. And also, I want to say good afternoon to Ike.
I think it's something about